In the last episode of No Country for Old Buildings, we interviewed Lee Deliker from Windover Development. I found it to be a very fascinating interview. It really shed some light on his side of the story. But as I said before, there were some lingering questions that I still had. But one thing that I had said, no matter what happens in this situation, let's keep the lines of communication open. Transparency seems to be the buzzword here in Beverly. We're not necessarily opposed to development, but people feel like they want to be kept in the loop on certain things. It was in a Salem News article that appeared on November 23rd, 2013 that I found out exactly what was going to happen to the historic buildings in the Beverly Depot area. In this article, it was revealed that, unfortunately, these buildings could not be saved because it would be too expensive to save them. And Windover actually held a neighborhood meeting to show plans for what they have envisioned for new development on this block. I felt this was a missed opportunity because, as I had said before, let's talk, let's keep the lines of communication open, and that obviously didn't happen. Now, around this period of time, I'd also been making inquiries on what happens to a newly created district if the resources that make up this district are torn down. Now remember, the Mass Historic Commission had said, if the former Hotel Trafton and Cushing Carriage Factory are demolished, then you really can't call it a district anymore. So I had asked, well, who enforces that? And does a district become delisted from the National Register once these demolitions go forward? Also during this interview, Lee Deliker had said that he'd be willing to show anyone the inside of the building, so I figured I would have to take him up on that. I wanted to see from his point of view exactly what he had to deal with for development problems. And I was really hoping that he could come along on this tour and talk to us. Unfortunately, he wasn't there, but someone else from Windover was more than happy to take the time to show us this building. So for this edition of No Country for Old Buildings, you're going to see the inside of the former Hotel Trafton. It's something that a lot of people in Beverly have always known as the infamous press box. I wondered what I would find in there. I envisioned just a complete disaster. I just didn't know what to expect. You hear all these rumors about the rooming house being used as a haven for drug abuse and prostitution. What exactly would we find there? People have said, well, there really isn't much left historic inside the building, and you really don't get a feel for how it used to look as a railroad hotel. So going into this, I had all these questions swirling in my mind. And some of my thoughts actually had turned to an article that I found concerning the Traftons celebrating their golden wedding anniversary when they swung open the doors of the Hotel Trafton and celebrated 50 years of marriage by inviting half of Beverly to celebrate with them inside this building.
Hello folks, we're here at the Hotel Trafton, January 2nd, 2014, and you just had a look out the window at Beverly Depot. This was a railroad hotel. Today it's a derelict old flop house, if you will, bar room downstairs. It's abandoned, slated for demolition within the next month or so. We wanted to at least come in here and document the interior. None of us have been in here before, despite the fact that this building has been here since 1886. We're trying to save it. We may or may not be successful, but we at least want to document what the building looked like inside. So that's what we're all about today. So we're going to take a walking tour. So come with us.
And we're also joined today by someone from Windover.
Kristen Poulin.
So she's been kind enough to let us walk around. And this is also, people have been talking about transparency and the need to see exactly what's going on. So this is also giving Windover a chance to say, well, here's the building, warts and all, and this is what they have to deal with for structural issues. So that's what this show is all about. It's really getting to the truth, not being biased too much against someone. I'm here to give someone a fair chance to make the case. And again, we have the bigger issue. We're talking about creating a historic district for the Beverly Depot area, and Lee Deliker of Windover said this building does have significant problems, and he doesn't think it can be saved. So we're going to take a walk around and just look and see for yourselves what the building looks like on the inside. Okay. So should we go from the bottom and work our way up?
Work up.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we go back this way, or is it around the corner here? Sure. I think we have to go down back that way. Yeah.
Yeah, the stairs are out here.
Yeah.
The floor plan is a little confusing. And guess you got to get used to it, like any building. What about that tile, Richard? What do you think? Too modern? The staircase? You got to think what this place must have been like back in the day. Who came up these stairs? Who traveled to Beverly by train back in the day?
We got a lot of salesmen, drummers.
People looking out the window and seeing President Taft.
Basement stairs, so give me.
Okay, we're looking for the basement stairs. Are all these doors locked? Is that why these things are propped up?
Might be, or just for ventilation. I think it's here.
Watch out for the nails.
Okay, here we go. Just watch your step, it's uneven.
Remember, folks, watch your step. Wow. How are you doing for light?
Yeah, it was good.
Can you get any?
Yeah, where you're shining, anywhere you shine.
So we have some brick supports up here. It's original woodwork. Kind of looks like something you'd see in a regular house.
It's like my mother's house.
Yeah,
It has
here-
the same brick pillars.
Here are these type of tanks that you see in people's basements with old houses.
So you can see this is where a lot of the concern is the structure of this, floor system and these columns.
Let me ask you this, just as a crazy off-the-wall question. Could you demolish the entire interior, put up a steel inner frame, and rebuild the inside to whatever way you want?
A steel inner frame,
Yeah.
and the facade
Just
would be,
leave the facade as it is standing, obviously repairing as needed, but
right.
removing all the structural beams that hold it up and replace them with steel inside.
I think my initial reaction is that would be a very expensive fix,
Oh,
and
I'm
I'm not
sure it
so
would.
sure.
I mean, we're not
Structurally,
talking money, we're
yeah,
talking, could
right,
it be
right.
done?
How do you? And that's a good question. Probably a question for a structural engineer. How do
Yeah.
tying in that the
Yeah.
exterior facade with a solid structural, structure, a solid structure.
Right.
I'm sure it would be quite challenging.
Because I know that there's a building down at Ellis Square, you're probably familiar, the old Briscoe School, the brick building right in Ellis Square that
Oh,
sits
yeah.
up on the hill.
Yep.
That used to be the high school, and then it was a junior high, and then it burned. There was absolutely nothing left, just a shell, and the city was
A
all
brick
ready to
shell,
come in
right?
and demolish
Yeah.
it. Yep.
That's a little bit of a
And
difference.
the owner said, no, don't do that, I can fix this, and look at it now. And it's a senior citizens housing, it looks
Right.
just like it did when it was built, minus the one big spire at the top.
Sure.
So, I mean, the old adage, I guess you can do anything if you want to throw enough money at it, but it's the will that's usually lacking.
Well, I think also, having a brick structure as opposed to a wood structure,
That's true.
it's a little bit different in
That's
that
true.
they're a little sturdier over their long period of time.
Now, this building is made up of a house from 1859, and then it was incorporated into the bigger structure in
That would be over on that
1886.
side, right?
Do we see any of that? Like,
I think that on one of the floors above, you can see where the old exterior was.
Uh-huh.
There's a few areas that I noticed. Down here, I haven't looked for it in those two different sections, but I'm sure you could see it.
I mean, we're looking
So-
at what looks like modern concrete here, and then over there, it's the brick. I wonder what the structurally why that is.
Well, I guess you see, you right here is where the steel posts start. So it must, I'm sorry, it's hard to see, but it must be, I think we end the brick post right here. So it must be the difference between there and there.
I mean, I'm assuming this concrete here wasn't laid down in the 1800s, right?
Oh, I don't think so with form ties like that.
Yeah, so like,
That's poured.
I wonder when and why, you know?
And that all starts, or potentially it was reworked.
Why is the foundation over here brick, something you'd expect, and rocks with cement,
And a combination of bricks, fieldstone, concrete.
right, and over here it's modern
It was
cement.
Maybe when the roadway, was the road ever widened where now there's, I think where there used to be a porch, there's now a sidewalk. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe there was some restructuring at that point.
I don't know. Fascinating, though.
Yeah, this was done, by the looks of it, within the last 50 years. They would have had to jack the building up to take the bricks or whatever the foundation was originally made out of and put this in here.
Knob and tube wiring that is removed, but these insulators remain. Corrosion on this pipe.
Same with the cement floor, I doubt that's original.
Cable TV.
My mother's house was dirt floor in the basement, and that was over the 1890s.
Yeah.
They had concrete put in later without digging it out, so you keep hitting your head on things.
Yeah,
Sprinkler system.
we had the same thing at an old house we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So all these lolly columns, they're holding, oh, look at this. They're obviously
Yeah,
holding up the
there's-
beams.
Yeah,
And this beam is very warped, and it seems to end right here.
yeah. There's obviously some rework done that wasn't thoughtfully executed.
That's all piecemeal.
And I think over here too, there's some areas where the beams are just crushing and.
And again, you know, does this work? Does it all
Right,
take
here's
place?
it's a good example right here of just,
Yeah, look at this.
it's,
Is this plaster?
Yeah, because that's got that mesh. That's new.
I mean, is this stuff, who signs off on it when, back in the day, you
There's a
know?
lot of wink, wink, nod, nod
Yes.
going on in here.
Historians are always told, well, if a building's historic, why do you let it fall apart? Well, a lot of this is out of our hands.
And it's
You know,
all
the-
done piecemeal.
And the same people who say, well, it's their building, they're also telling us to mind our own business. And then yet they're also saying, well, why don't they take better care of it? Well, would you have legislation passed?
Like the 470 is one of them.
Right, would you have legislation passed that really prevents people from doing stuff to their historic properties? You know, it's like we're trapped in a catch-22. We've got a collection of TVs back here that no one wants. I think this place was used as an illegal printing shop when Bayless Baum had it.
wow.
And they told them, you can't have this down here, you're not permitted.
No, I'm not seeing any furnace here at all.
High-resolution cartridges.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did it have electric heat? I don't see any furnace.
I don't think the radiators do not look like electric heat. This looks like that heat piping, but maybe it's been taken out.
It should be
Oh,
something
it's a
going into the
furnace room.
chimney. It has to be an exhaust for a heater, whether it's gas or oil.
Storage. Empty carton from here.
It should be a very obvious place where the furnace. A big building like this. And it should be a chimney with a pipe going into it, or at least a hole where the pipe was.
Anyone want an American flag? I can't bear to have it left behind, so I think I'm going to take this with me, if that's all right with...
I'm sorry, what are you taking? Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to see this thing abused.
If anybody see a chimney, I don't.
But there are two chimneys in the building. I don't know.
Where do they go?
Are they behind
I
something?
think it would be right over here with all the other stuff.
Not here.
Oh, this is where the furnace would have been, right here.
Not at the end.
This is the piping to what the,
Yeah, that's what he just told me.
is that what he said, or I didn't?
Like it.
This is what, yeah, this is where it was.
What was it, gas heat? That's an expansion.
Or an oil
That's
burner?
hot water. This is hot water, isn't it? Heating
Yeah.
system, hydronic heating.
I don't know.
Yeah, somebody took it's just gone, somebody took it out. Oil burner. Or whatever it was, I don't see an oil.
Couple
No,
of
it's
bikes
filler, I
here.
think, So
This is all.
it was probably gas.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. You have this old brickwork, and then you have a lot of the...
Oh.
Yeah. Here's the electrics.
Yep.
Circuit breaker.
I think the furnace was right here. I think this is where it was.
You think?
Yeah.
Watch your head
the pipe
on
to
this
go up?
pipe.
Yeah, all the pumps are here, all the water pumps are here.
All right, so it was here.
That's it.
Just a 3-incher.
Wow.
That's it.
Interesting. All right, are we done with the basement?
I think so,
All right.
for now.
So, I mean, you can see from this basement, though, that the entire structure here would need to be replaced.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
not even a,
Well,
you know,
I
a
wouldn't even
consideration.
venture to-
Yeah.
to even suggest it if anything. I'm more interested in exterior facade, especially the side facing the track. The rest of it's kind of hold on, but that's. Have you seen pictures of it as it was?
I have, with that porch and all.
verandas,
Yeah. Now, the veranda was where the sidewalk is. Is that right?
Yep.
I
So,
don't know. Unless
what it
the
looks
veranda
like.
was smaller.
It looked large to me in those
Yeah, it's
pictures.
pretty wide in the pictures.
And of course, the road was probably narrower at that point as well.
Okay, so what is this room? What are we looking at now? What do you
So
think?
this was the bar room, and at one point became a room for the veterans to use when it turned into the veterans housing. But it was the bar room, and then it was kind of overhauled a bit, I understand, and turned into an area that the veterans could use.
Well, I suspect
A common
back in the-
area.
Back in the hotel day, this might have been the dining room.
That would make sense, yeah, or the lobby, right? You'd
Yeah,
walk right
lobby
into.
and dining room.
Yep.
Now, so this would have been, we're looking right now at the smaller section, what used to be the house, correct?
Yeah.
This side,
Yeah, yeah.
and not that side against the house was over here and not over there.
The house is the small side that's only
Okay.
2 stories.
Okay.
So this would have been 1859. But this is the place, as people knew it, as the press box right here. They would have seen it. The pool halls
Right.
would have been here. I only went in here once, very briefly, and it was a place that I didn't want to spend too much time in.
They used to play darts. Oh yeah, it's quite a gathering place, but they also had a good share of fights down here.
So these are some of these exterior windows that have been blocked up, I would assume.
Yep.
Original or not?
Oh, I think those are just a cover structure for
Okay.
aesthetics, you know, for the bar, it would seem.
And there's a door over here, which obviously we're not going to get to, but
Yeah.
what is all this stuff? That's interesting. A very long bathroom. Speaker system. So there's your one entrance here, across from Odell Park, and then there's another entrance down here, closer to the Casa de Luca. So people with their backs to the park, my back would be to Odell Park, would come in here, and to get to the rooming house portion, we would go through this door over here. So you'll want to follow us up through this door. So this door right here leads to the depot. So we'd be facing the railroad tracks here. But to get to the upstairs of the rooming house hotel section, we'd go through this metal door right here, up these stairs. And as Richard says, this is probably the original railing, probably one of the more obvious things that's original in the building. You think the tile might be original? Could be, who knows?
There's a wall that seems to have been built over it here.
An interesting pattern.
Yeah.
So the staircase goes up to the upper floors here. There's not a lot of room in this staircase, but the second floor rooms are right behind me, so that's what we're going to look at next. And there is a lot of light up here.
So a note of concern on that stairwell and just the whole middle section of the building, you can see it from here, is that this entire section slants considerably, and it does as well in the stairwell. You know, unfortunately, if you even grab the railing, you can feel the slope on it. It's just so off kilter for whatever, you know, as we saw in the basement.
So basically, this window here overlooks the railroad tracks, and it's a very interesting floor plan, a lot of hallways and different rooms. So when you have a building that's been sitting empty for a year, this is what tends to happen to it. Ceiling tiles have collapsed, some dead pigeons on the ground. So over there is Odell Park. Got your closet space. This room right here is pretty roomy. Bathroom in there. Then we go over here. I don't know what this would have been, whether it would have been a common area or not. But right now we're looking at the bay window that you can see from the railroad tracks. And here's this original window treatment, this square. It's made out of wood. I thought it might have been some leaded treatment, but no, it's made out of wood. But that dates back to 1886 when the building was first constructed. So I have to think that maybe some of this woodwork here is original. But it's hard to get a picture of what this building would have looked like in the 1880s with the way some of these rooms have been divided up.
Yeah, it seems like they didn't take much precaution to maintain any stretch of the original detail. You know, it's been broken up so many different ways.
So here we have what probably was another small room. So the box factory would be right behind us. Bathroom here. Some interesting tile.
I think it's a
Probably.
panel. I don't think it's tile.
I was just going to say probably not original.
Yeah, I think it's a wall panel.
Small closet. And another closet. And if you ever wanted to dress like the 70s, have we got the polyester suit for you? But this is where someone would have lived. You know, someone maybe less fortunate, drug problem maybe, who knows? You hear stories of people back in the day when this was a notorious rooming house, people dying here of a drug overdose or whatever. So, you know, you always have to be mindful of that where we're walking. It looks like the veterans just left everything in a shambles when they vacated. This is the condition you found these things in, with food and spices left in the drawers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the depot is over there. Now we're going to work our way back towards Rantoul Street. So we go down this hallway. And this is something that I noticed from the train station. The other bay windows, obviously some of them have been replaced with this big pane right here. But take a look at this view. People would have been watching President Taft get off the train, and there would have been a massive crowd right here gathered to greet the president as he was heading to his summer White House. So the view that we're seeing here, probably not too many people in Beverly are going to be looking out this glass window anymore, but it's historic nonetheless. I think it was Wendy Pearl from the Historic District Commission said, history isn't always beautiful. History is history. And sometimes these buildings are in rough shape. Solid. closet. Yep, just a small closet. Another bathroom. So this would have been someone fancy staying in a room with their own bathroom and not a common bathroom. Now we have a choice. This is like a first-person shooter game. You know, do you go down this hallway or do you go down this
I
hallway?
think it loops around, so I think we could try either one. If not, we'll
Okay.
we can turn back.
Here you have another small entranceway into another unit.
Seems like someone's in here now.
This is like one of those movies where humanity is suddenly disappears because of some apocalyptic cataclysm, and you find, oh, here's the drink still on the table. So this person would have had a nice view of Odell Park. Cigarettes right here in the bowl. Interesting, this shelving system. Don't think that's original either. Looks like some original wallpaper, possibly. This would have been a common bathroom right down the hallway. So I'm assuming as a railway hotel, they probably had a common bathroom area. And again, which way do you go? Left, right? There are many twists and turns to this building. Okay, Cushing Carriage Factory right there, Casa de Luca. So we're looking at Rantoul Street right there. Here's another small unit. Here comes the train. Right down here. So that's what we're looking at. So these rooms are in the small house that was first here in 1859. So this is the older portion of this structure, and I'm assuming down there is the 1886 portion. I wonder where one begins and one ends.
Maybe it's the third floor, one floor up, where you can see the difference.
More dead pigeons. How they get in here and why they can't get out, who knows? Small accommodations, but you know, if you're on your own, this is all you have. Somewhat roomy. There's a sink here, but no bathroom, so I'm assuming you have to go down the hall.
So, Matt, a note in this part of the building is that the head height in this part of the building would never be adequate to meet current codes with any structuring that looks like a duct, but
Yeah.
you know, the old portion certainly has low head height, and so if it was restructured, you know, mathematically it wouldn't work out.
So now we go this way. So this is a second stairway, the emergency exit. And then,
You know, that might go down to that bar, the area that was closed off, that we couldn't walk over to because of the debris.
again, we're looking at the Depot Square condominiums and the box factory from here. Oops. Looks like there's a shower over here with pink tile, pink and black, back in the day.
Classic.
Yeah, not original. More paneling.
It's a paneling, yeah.
Made to look like tile. Okay,
We can head, yeah, upstairs. I think is some interesting roofline stuff. This is all, asbestos tile here.
has Richard been located yet? Did we lose him? So this stairway is just a continuation of the stairway with the larger railing we saw, right? It's all in the center of the building?
Well, it's off, this one's off to the side a bit. It's not right in the same,
Oh.
stairwell box, but
Okay.
it looks like it was from the same time period. It appears that way.
Yep.
Yeah, and then if you look, I think back this way is where. Oh no, it's not.
Another common bathroom.
Maybe it's when you go down here.
So we're going to go down this narrow hallway, which is really interesting. It looks like there might have been a skylight up there. I'm sure that's the attic where the mansard roof is.
Yeah, here. This is an
It's
original
rather
shaft,
cold in
yeah.
here. They have some windows
Exterior.
slightly ajar.
Yeah.
Is that a dumbwaiter? That's what we
looks like
thought,
it,
maybe.
Yeah, that's what my thought was. And they've used it as a shaft, a mechanical shaft.
And yet, I mean, you have this door here with a, look at this original.
Unless that was the original part of the house, right? The original exterior window in the house.
This is a closet. But get a load of this original detail work on this latch here with all this little metal scroll work here. So that's, that's going to be original. But yeah, it looks like right now there's pipes and it doesn't go down too deep. So who knows what this would have been at one time.
That looks like, was it a mansard roof? That looks like a roof line right there.
Yeah.
And then this might have been an exterior alcove. I'm not sure, but I don't think that's original.
No, I don't think so either. And you find these
Right, see?
circuit boxes.
That is the original roof line right there as it mirrors this one. So
in this upper floor, because it's a mansard roof and you have the curve, that's what we're seeing, these curves. Ooh, boy. That is either a deep carpet or... Yeah, that feels weird.
it's a sinkhole. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the carpet wasn't laid down right, or I don't know. So again, we're up at the top, and this room is incredibly small, but here's this archway. So again, we're facing the box factory building and the Depot Square condominiums. So this is the side of the building, but you have these windows like that, which are the original roof line. Okay, now we're going to go back here and see this room. So again, that original roof line. I wonder what this place looked like when the veterans were in here. I mean, I can't believe it was this messed up. Probably wasn't.
Sure.
But
I can't imagine it would have been. It was probably what happened after that.
fire escape. So this
Problem.
this is the metal fire escape we see on the outside. So I'm not going to touch that. Yeah.
That's a skylight. That's
I think it's a roof hatch. I mean, access to the attic.
Because there's a lot more, in a mansard roof, there's a lot more there.
A lot of
And
space, yeah.
is there like an access?
Well, not, you're actually within the roof line right now, but I'm sure there's a cavity up there.
Is there an access point to the that would be like an attic or something?
Yeah, I just think it's like an access, an attic space up there,
This floor
smaller.
could be the original attic.
Attic, and so
This
what's
floor,
above?
'cause I owned a home that had this.
Right, you're in the attic when you're
Right.
at the slope. So,
Right.
but there is, I'm sure, a section. Oh, well,
Because the
it is
building
light,
goes
though.
up to a
It is-
high point. We're
that's
not
right.
in the high
Right,
point
no.
yet.
No.
The high
But-
point is up there.
Yeah, so maybe that was clear.
It's glass.
So yeah,
I don't wanna
it
mess
looks like
with it.
metal.
All right, what's down? Did we go Yeah,
We came from there, yep.
okay.
So we'll have to go back there.
So we're just about done if you want to, with this floor, if you want to get some establishing shots or anything. So right above us would be more structure that goes up to a point, but here's where these little windows poke through the roof as you see in mansard roofs.
Similar to the Depot Square building, you know, same mansard construction.
And there's the depot over there. It's kind of interesting. What a lousy, snowy day, but in a way it's a chilling beauty to have that snow. Okay. Where do we want to go now? Have we found Richard yet?
I think we've hit this entire floor.
Is there anything above us? That
I don't believe so.
emergency exit?
But did we loop around the... I'll check this out.
I'm kind of getting a feel for it now.
Yeah, that's where we came from, and we went that way. So this would be the only other piece. Oh, I take that back. We have one more floor that I have not been up. If we want to grab those guys and...
Again, if it's just one person living here, adequate enough space. Sink, but no toilet. It's down the hall.
There's another floor.
There is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look. The mystery floor. It could just open up to what? Nothing?
It's a similar stairwell, so let's take a
It
peek.
could probably just open up to framework. I don't know. But we'll take a look. And
Watch your head.
another room here with sink arrangement and everything.
Watch your head, please. Oh, it's just a whole other set of rooms.
So here's the slope of the mansard roof right here. So we are going up farther into the structure. Wow. That's an interesting tiling job for a mansard roof. You come along here and you slant it up. I'm telling you though, these collapsed drop ceilings look like something out of a end of the world movie. Okay. So this must be the 1886 portion that we're in, because if you look out the window, there's the smaller, older house. Right here. You can actually see it. You can see the roof line. So it's really two buildings in one that we have here in this railroad hotel. A small house, which I assume is that, and then what we're in is the 1886 portion. I would have loved to have seen this thing being built back in the day. See what they would have done for engineering. How would they have approached things? So this is going to be, I don't know. Maybe it's covering something up. That doesn't feel or sound original. That looks like 70s wood paneling that has been painted. Yeah. But it obviously follows a contour of the mansard roof.
Sure, it does, yep.
So Rantoul Street's right out there. Ah, there you are, Richard. All these rooms have a tendency to look very similar. Again, Odell Park out there. So this would be another typical room on this top floor here with the slanted roofs. Kind of makes for an interesting living space. Wonder if anyone hung up any posters here. Sink. Okay, we have another very similar. A lot of light in here. Well, we're pretty high up now, and here's another one of these original window treatments. You can see this square pattern. That is in the original photographs of this building from the 1800s, so that survives. But it's a wood slat like you'd see on any house, really. Snow's picking up. And there's a pigeon.
Looking for a warm spot out of the wind.
He doesn't want to be in here. He'll get trapped in here. So people looking out that window would have seen the original depot on this site.
Yeah, there was a covered train shed in the original depot that was there.
Say that again.
There was a covered train shed with the depot that was built in 1847 and was demolished in 1896 to build this one. It was a big covered train shed. That was built by the Eastern Railroad.
So what's your opinion? What do you think this would have looked like back in the 1800s? Would this be larger? Was it walled off?
No, I don't think so. I think this is just paneling over an original wall.
So this would have been your
You're
accommodation.
up on the third floor. These are the cheap rooms up here.
Yeah, but still, if
Better
you
quality rooms are downstairs.
if you're a traveler, not bad.
It's sort of about what you expected in any place like this.
Would they have had sinks in each room, or there's no plumbing, right?
No, there would have been
they
a
just
communal bathroom on
built,
each
yeah.
floor.
But that real window
Looks
is
like an
original.
original window.
Yeah, with this square pattern here.
'Cause that shows up on the early pictures.
Now we know what they are. It's just wood. Obviously, replacement window.
Yeah.
Is that a train out there?
No, it's a generator.
Okay.
There's one here
No, it's a train.
coming in from the
Yeah,
north.
it's coming in now. Yeah.
Cool.
There was one earlier that went the other way.
3:15. So how long have we been here?
About an hour.
About an hour. Okay. I think we'll be doing all right for 4.
Yeah, these are definitely the cheap rooms.
Must be
up there.
24.
Big tiny closet.
It's funny, it's the opposite nowadays. You know, the high floors or the high priced rooms. Everybody wants a view.
Well, I don't think people came and stayed here like they did at the big White Mountains hotels. These were hotels for salesmen, for drummers. They had their sample cases, and then they'd go around and hit all the businesses in town, stay here a couple of nights, get on a train, go somewhere else. This wasn't a resort hotel.
No, not glamorous in any means, but fancy enough to attract people
Yeah,
to stay
probably
here.
the best place in town.
Yeah. So it's interesting trying to see how this floor relates to the downstairs floors. These rooms definitely seem a lot smaller, because if we were starting off on that second floor, the wall I think would be farther back.
Probably the original floor over here.
You notice that pitch?
Don't you think this is original floor?
I don't know. What do the nails look like?
It looks it to me.
Yeah.
They spent the time to do the edge.
Yep.
You know, they don't do
Yep,
that
yep,
anymore.
it goes around the corner.
There goes the train.
Yeah. No, I think this is original floor right here.
So this site, back in the day, it would have been a steam locomotive. We have a photograph.
Yeah, we got a couple, whoa, 2 engines on that one.
We have a photograph of a steam locomotive sitting on the wrong track, posing in front of this building. Back in the day. An interesting touch with this structure here as the mansard roof swoops in. And that's solid, so. Okay, we've been there. Now this comes around. Another room. Depot Square condos on this side.
Oof.
Windows are slightly ajar, so the elements are getting in. I noticed that with some. Do you think someone might have been sneaking in here through the fire escape or something?
No, I don't think so. I just think that would be a tough, well, Yeah, I don't think so, but
So here's your metal fire escape right here. And that, what you're looking at with those shingles, that's where the old house was from 1859. Post office in the background. Just a interesting sight with all this snow.
We found the way to the attic, but there's no way up there.
Can we at least look?
No.
Oh.
It's over the top of the stairwell. There's a big trap door,
Oh,
but you need a ladder to get up there.
I'm not about to.
I suspect that up there are probably all kinds of old papers like there are in railroad station attics.
So I know you said this isn't your project. What happens February 1st when the demolition delay is lifted? Is this just plowed down, or can elements of this building be saved and incorporated?
I truly have
Okay, I
no
understand.
idea of the plan for it.
I understand. That's why I wondered who was going to be tagging along with us, if we could ask.
Yeah, it's something I can certainly respond to. I truly don't have the answer to that right now. We have a
So
lot-
here's another corner room. Again, with the mansard roof, you can see the structure on the inside. And then if you look over here, you can see that gambrel roof, the edge of it. So we're facing the railroad tracks. Yeah. Place to hang your jacket.
I love these weird angles to some of these. the way
Yeah,
the corridors
it's
are.
certainly-
Why would you build a thing like that?
Well, I think you actually you may not have a choice just to get the amount of the maximize the room square footage.
Maybe.
You know,
There was,
Seems like you stay down right, whatever.
I mean, there was the urban legend that they built mansard roofs because they wouldn't be taxed
Yeah.
for an
space.
extra floor. It would be considered part of the roof, and that was a way around it. I think it also, I think that might be an urban legend. I think it has something to do with zoning and getting a,
They outlawed eventually due to fire hazard.
I don't know, but
I think that's what I've heard.
it has something to do with putting,
Depot Square has a mansard roof. The front section of Depot Square does.
it has something to do with putting more people in a space than is usually allowed under certain zoning. So that's why the mansard roof came to be.
Take a left up here. Go in here. See this? Light up there, there's the way to the attic.
Oh, yeah.
No way to get up there, but that's where you access it. I would love to know when they start tearing this down if there's any paper stuff up there, because I know we've gone into old railroad station attics and they never threw anything away.
Really?
We found stuff in the Danvers Depot attic 3 or 4 years ago, dating back to the 1880s.
Wow.
Yeah. Bills of lading, telegraph blanks, letterheads.
What were you able to do with it? Do you have a spot where you could display it?
Yeah,
or-
we have it in a museum.
Yeah,
And
great.
we pulled out samples of it. And even over the lavatories, there was a crawl space, because the rest of the attic had been pretty well cleaned out. Crawled in through this little cubby hole into the thing over the men's and women's room. And there was all kinds of paper tied up with string in there. Old
Really?
forms from the 1890s. Even stuff dating back to the Eastern Railroad, which was before the Boston and Maine. And they had saved all that. They never threw anything. They just
That's
bundled it
amazing.
up and threw it in the attic.
Since at that point in time
So-
they had so little paper. We
Yeah.
have so much these days you couldn't
So
save
when
it all.
when they go to take this down, when it comes down, if it does, send somebody up there first and look.
Check to see,
See
what's
what's
there.
up there.
Absolutely.
God knows what could be up there.
So now we're heading back down. And I think we've shown just about every room, right?
I think so.
Pretty
So,
much.
no, I need this, I'll tell you that.
Pretty impressive in a way. But as you mentioned, you can feel like a little bit of a slope on this staircase.
Oh, yeah, it's all sagged.
Leaning to the
How
right.
old houses, they settle, you know?
Yep. But I suspect this is all original. I
That-
can't see any reason why that would have been replaced at any time.
I have to say, after being in here for a while, I am starting to get used to the floor plan now. So It'll take you by surprise if you've never been in this building before. It is very confusing, but after you've spent a little bit of time here, you kind of get the hang of it after a
I
while.
love fine pictures of the inside when I was there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they took them.
So clearly that was the main core of that entire
Yes,
thing, you
I
know, for
think
the
so.
first floor, and they
Yeah.
got, these seem like they're the appropriate width or the
Yeah.
original width, but this
Yeah.
one was cut in half.
Yep,
So
is,
this wall behind Mark here, this wouldn't even be here then,
I
right?
don't think so. I think
This would have been a
wide
grand
corridor, and they put this
corridor.
in here and divided it in half.
Yeah, which who knows when that happened.
'Cause they obviously built right over this tile
Sure.
floor. Yeah, I
Okay.
think this is, if there's anything original other than that wooden floor, I think probably this is. That's not linoleum.
No, it's definitely a,
That's wood tile.
porcelain tile, yep.
Yeah, I think that's original.
All right. So what do you think, Richard? We're probably some of the last people in Beverly, the last Beverly residents who are going to see this with our own eyes, and then it'll just be
Oh, I agree.
photographs.
I agree, but at least they got the photographs.
Yeah.
When they tore down Salem Depot, I'm not sure anyone ever went inside and took pictures in all the rooms that were in there. It just went.
Now again, the elephant in the room is people from the Mass Historic have said if this building is taken down and the Cushing carriage is taken down, can you still call it a district? They're saying no. Other preservationists say no. What do you think?
Well, I think it's obvious that if you have X amount of buildings comprising a historic district, and you are going to apply for a tax credit for preserving those, and then you tear down two of them, that's questionable to me, and we've had that stated by some other historical sources.
But do you think now seeing the interior of this, can you see the challenges?
Oh, I can absolutely. I wouldn't even attempt to restore the inside of this. I would gut this out and leave as much of the facade as I could and build a whole steel framework inside here and start from scratch and do whatever with the inside.
But
like the one in Kansas, that we had the thing on the internet the other day that they restored that old hotel, a railroad hotel out in Kansas, in Madison, Kansas. Admittedly, that was a brick building, but the interior was just absolutely gone beyond any hope of restoration. They gutted the whole thing out, and they built a whole new interior.
Now, do you know if the Historic District Commission actually walked around here and took a look at this before they imposed the demolition delay?
I don't know that. I can find out though and let you know.
I mean, I definitely sympathize that they're saying you can't tear this down, it's historic. Well, how about bring some ideas to the table of maybe try and find some ways to save it instead of just saying, well, we did our job, can't tear it down. There are no further regulations that we need to fulfill, so you're on your own for a year. You know, I think it's a touchy situation.
See, those people should have been in here right off the get-go when the demolition delay was first put on this.
Yeah.
No, they're not doing anything. They leave two lay people to come in here and try and do this, and they don't want any part of it. And they're on a commission that either gets paid or they do it because it's hot in it, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We're down here on a cold, freezing day with a blizzard coming on, and they're not here.
Yeah.
And they had all summer to come in here.
And it's not only that, it's you call Preservation Massachusetts and you get their voicemail or I'm not in the office.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel as an amateur, why am I doing this? You know, I've been putting a lot of effort into this. So in some ways, I am sympathetic towards Windover, but I also do wonder, well, can you call it a historic district? I'm still on the fence about it. I think we need to talk about it more, definitely.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it is a neat space. There are some interesting elements to this. I'm not sure.
Well, people
What-
don't see that, though. All they see is this dumpy old flop house that's been here forever with,
Yeah.
with the aluminum siding. They don't see the pictures that we have of it when it was new, with all the staff standing down there on the porch in their crinoline dresses and their suits and bowler hats. You don't see that. Nobody sees. They just see this as the press box. Get rid of it. It's a dump.
And what makes it equally painful is we had a group, Caritas Communities, who said, well, we're going to move in and try and fix this place up. It'll take some time, but we know what we're doing. We've done this before. We're confident in doing it. And they said, this will be a beautiful building when we're done with it. And the deal went south because of certain disagreements with Victor Capozzi's group. So in a way, it's like if things had gone differently, we could be in this beautifully restored building for veterans housing, but circumstances didn't turn out to be that way. So, again, is it too far gone? Well, even the guy from Caritas Communities will tell you, well, it depends on what it's being used for. He says whatever the market, can find a use for. And sometimes if you're doing a private entity here, not a nonprofit, it's a lot harder. So
Sure.
who knows? I know there was also another nonprofit that looked at this building and they were told to stay away from it, that there were plans for the block. So there were a couple of missed opportunities here and there. And this is real history we have here. And again, if some elements can be saved, that's good. But if the whole thing is plowed under and then a replica built, can you say it's historic?
No, because it's not the building, but at least it's better than building a cement block bunkhouse here.
Yeah. So that's about all the time we have for this look. So I hope you join me again for the next exciting edition of No Country for Old Buildings. You want to answer that? We'll cut that all out in editing.
So a note of concern on that stairwell and just the whole middle section of the building, you can see it from here, is that this entire section slants considerably, and it does as well in the stairwell. Unfortunately, if you even grab the railing, you can feel the slope on it. It's just so off kilter for whatever, as we saw in the basement. The
Bill
structure.
Hi, I'm right in the middle of a
We'll
shoot.
edit all this out.
Out of that door where the alarm box is, not door number 9. Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay, we're all set. Thank you so much. Now, is anybody in tomorrow?
Cable, TV.
That
Okay.
looks like it was put in when the veterans were here. That's
Yeah.
No, we most likely will not be in tomorrow. But I was asking in case one of our producers wanted to come in and do some work, so I just wanted to get an idea from you. So you think you might be in around 10, and then,
Say hi, Rob.
okay, sounds good, Bill. All right, we'll set the alarm when, oh, thank you very much. Happy New Year, take care. Bye-bye. They want to make sure they didn't set the alarm when we go back, and I said,
Okay.
no, we'll set it. Okay, so we'll have to take it sort of
Take 2.
from,
Do we have
okay.
to start all the way over?
No.
We'll edit all
So,
that out.
whatever
Okay.
you-